Bam, 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 bam. What's up, babies? Merry Christmas. Today is December 24th, 2024. That's 12/24/24. I'm sure there's some kind of something code, I don't know. In any case, my name's Ryan Shadle, President and CEO of Metavesco, ticker MVCO, traded on OTC markets. Today was an important day. I've been quiet for the last several weeks on social media, Twitter, X specifically, which is where I mostly reside. So this is my ride home. Obviously, it's a little early because it's Christmas Eve. And, yeah, so today was important. Metavesco filed a while ago, I want to say a couple months, with OTCmarkets.com that we were doing a 1-for-100 forward split, and that forward split became effective today. Now, if you watch the stock at all today, it was certainly interesting. The open was kind of wonky. I know I think E-Trade and Fidelity still have not updated their, if you have a current position, I don't believe they have updated your holdings. The information related to the stock has been updated to a degree. The pricing information is accurate on E-Trade and I think Fidelity, IBKR, all the majors. The share count has not been updated on E-Trade, but I think Schwab, Fidelity, Interactive have updated theirs, and it hasn't been updated. The authorized has been updated on OTCmarkets.com. The outstanding shares has not been updated on OTCmarkets.com. So, anyways, long story short, I think it went pretty well overall. These things take a day or two to settle out on the OTC. It's not like they see a lot of forward splits on the OTC. It's mostly reverse splits where companies dilute and they reverse, and then they dilute again, and then they reverse. It's a very different situation here at Metavesco. We went through this once about a year and a half ago with the last forward split that I did, and it took a few days for things to kind of flesh out. So overall, I was pleased how the brokers handled today. At the open, you could tell that there was some confusion in the market. The opening bid, so we closed yesterday a little over 4 cents a share. So post split, that's 0004 and some change. The opening bid, though, I think was like 1.2 maybe. No, I'm wrong. The opening bid was 666, but the opening ask was like 555, maybe higher. By the time I screenshot it was 555. I think initially it was a little higher, but after about an hour and a half, you could see the volume start to kind of come in. Like the first hour was like 100,000 shares traded, which pre-split, that's 1,000 shares, right? It's like $50 or something. But after about an hour, you can see the volume start to kind of come in. It's okay. So you could see that the brokers were updating their systems. When we did the last forward split we did, it took, I think, 2 days for everything to get finally updated. So overall, pretty good day. We finished at 113 on about 10 million plus or minus shares. I didn't see like the last second, but unless some bunch of volume came in at the last minute of trading, I think we came in about 10 million shares. Closed at 113, up 225% day one, and it's a half day because it's a holiday. So overall, Merry Christmas, right? Worked out pretty good for everybody. If you're an MVCO shareholder, today was a good day. I think we traded as high as 2.2, maybe 2.21, but again, that was on 110,000 shares. So it'll be interesting to see how it kind of plays out over the next couple of days. I was pleased to see the volume pick up, and there's definitely some interest there. Which, hey, the whole reason this forward split was done was to improve liquidity in the stock. It's unfortunate, but where we are right now, your average OTC, if it's over a penny, it just doesn't get a lot of volume, at least not consistent, not sustainable. I want consistent, sustainable volume in this stock. It's good for the company. It's good for the shareholders. And I think overall, I think it's good for the OTC as a whole. There's not a lot of really good quality sub-penny stocks. Now, how long MVCO will be sub-penny, I don't know. Can't say, won't speculate. But, most of the stuff that's sub-penny is garbage. It's toxic. It's riddled with toxic debt. So this is not that situation. This is the first time, by the way, a company has ever done a 100-for-1 forward split and put their stock into trips on purpose. First time it's ever been done. And so a few weeks ago, I tweeted, or maybe a week and a half ago, I tweeted, hey, I've been quiet, but soon. Okay, and somebody asked me about that tweet earlier. Here's what that was all about. It was really the forward split. So we filed the paperwork with FINRA to do the forward split, and I can tell you, it made me nervous, just the amount of questions. Not the amount of questions, because the number of questions wasn't the issue. It was the nature of the questions and some of their, looking at the times, the look back period. I mean, they were going back 20 years on some of their questions. Like, it was the most insane thing I've ever seen. Now, of course, to be fair, I've only done 2 forward splits in my lifetime, both with Metavesco. But they were asking about things that occurred, 20 years ago with this stock. And, we were fortunate enough when I bought control of Metavesco, at the time it was Waterside Capital under a different ticker. When I bought control, I paid a pretty hefty sum to have an attorney do due diligence on this thing. And I have to give them, they're expensive, and I hate the fact that I pay them so much money. But look, when it comes to legal and accounting, you get what you pay for. And the attorney that did, they're our attorney now, like they're the company attorney. But I paid out of pocket for them to do the due diligence and ensure that all the paperwork was in order. And hey, had I not done that, this forward split probably doesn't get done. I got the feeling that FINRA most definitely did not want to process a 100-for-1 forward split for a stock that was going to be in the triples, triple zeros after the, post split. In their defense, I mean, well, it's never been done. Okay. Like I said, most companies that are in the trips, they get there because of dilution and poor execution, poor management, or they're just straight up scams. Okay, here we have a unique situation where we forward split a company to triple zeros on purpose. And guess what? How much toxic debt does Metavesco have? That much. Okay, we have no toxic debt. The majority of our debt is conventional debt. It's just a loan with some interest on it. Okay, I do have some notes in the company that are convertible. Look, reality is I'm probably never converting those notes. They've been paid down a little. Even if I did convert them, those shares would be restricted for 2 years. Okay, so the reality is those are probably never getting converted. I'm not going to say never because you don't know, but it's like 99.999% never getting converted. So, yeah, there's no toxic debt. All right. So yeah, unique situation. I think FINRA looked at it and said, hey, let's ask this guy some questions that probably no one else would be able to answer. Like, what happened on December 5th, 2003, when the moon was up early and the sun went down late? I mean, it was questions like that they were asking. I'm being a little, ridiculous how I'm saying it. Okay, but okay, they're just being very, very thorough. They're being very thorough. Hats off to FINRA for being thorough. I don't know how these companies get these huge reverse splits done, right? Because I'll tell you what, if they get asked the same kind of, in-depth, thorough, and not just questions, but hey, can you provide documentation for this thing that happened in 2014 with the company and this director, who, by the way, is dead? So it's not like I could even go to the guy and, hey, can you help me with this paper? I mean, this guy's dead. So anyways, it's like, you know. Oh, we got. I want to say we got lucky that we're able to pull all this crazy paperwork together that they were asking for. Okay, and some of it was like, oh yeah, we need proof of this filing here, and we need the actual from the state proof. Like, you can't go to the state website and download it. We need the email that the state sent you with this filing you did. And I'm like, I mean, come on. Okay. Enough of that rant, because look, we got it done. Finner got it done for us. All right, and I have to give huge props to our legal team. So our SEC attorney is Laura Anthony, PLC, and I actually think she has another partner. I don't know their names. But the staff that we work with, John, Patty, Cleary, Carrie, Jessica. I'm sure there's some others I'm forgetting about. I'm sorry if I did. But they're amazing attorneys, very damn expensive. But if you're ever running a public company, I recommend them. They're just really damn good at what they do. They're extremely thorough. They charge a lot, but it's worth every penny what you pay them. All right. And then our transfer agent, ComputerShare, same transfer agent GameStop has, by the way. ComputerShare, the team over there, holy cow, they are on top of it, man. You know, I mean, it's Christmas Eve, and they're processing. Like, I just got an email from them. Hey, all entitlements have been posted. And, you know, look, they're issuing roughly, I don't know, 7 billion shares they got to place and put where they're supposed to go. And, you know, look, it's 1 o'clock for Christmas Eve. I got the email from them about 45 minutes ago that they got everything done. ComputerShare is amazing. If you ever run a public company, you need a transfer agent. Again, they're not cheap, okay? They're not cheap, but they're great at what they do, and you get what you pay for. All right, so we have successfully completed a 100-for-1 forward split. First time it's ever been done on the OTC, putting the stock in trips. Of course, we didn't finish in trips. We were at 113 last I looked, and that's exciting. And so the intention here was that we would have an improvement in liquidity. Hopefully that's what we get. So why I was so quiet during this, you know, time period. So, you know, I started doing this Ride Home with Ryan stream that I've been doing. And you notice I'm not drinking my Maga water because I don't have any more. I drank it all. I have to get some more water. All right, so I ordered 5 cases, by the way, and I'm literally just drinking it like crazy. So yeah, the reason I stopped posting so much, while I was going through this process with Finner, I didn't want to give them, or the SEC, or anyone else that matter, a reason to say, you know what, let's not approve this thing because he said this, or, you know, this might be a forward-looking statement, whatever. By the way, Metabasco is a publicly traded company. Anything I say is most likely a forward-looking statement. You should look at OTCmarkets.com, read all of our filings for risk disclosures, financial disclosures, and do your own research, etc. All right. So when I started, you know, doing the live streams about, I guess, a month and a half, 2 months ago, you know, it's like, hey, we're going to build in public. And then after like 5 of them, I stopped doing them. It primarily driven by, like I said, I just didn't want to raise any red flags for, you know, some stupid reason. And I just don't want to give anybody a reason to be pissed off and not want to do the forward split. So now that it's done, man, I can get back to business as usual. And what is business as usual? Okay, so we've got our Bitcoin miners, man. They are mining, they are hashing. Bitcoin is doing it. Bitcoin is doing it. You got Donald J. Trump coming into office. He's going to be the Bitcoin president. You got Michael Saylor. He's buying like a couple $1 billion worth of Bitcoin every week, it seems like. Very excited about our Bitcoin operations. I wish we had, I really feel like if we had more capital, you know, he's buying it. I think my move would be to buy more miners. Like, I would buy more miners. All right. I mean, right now, it's costing us per Bitcoin roughly about $62,000. It changes from day to day. Okay, so it's roughly about $62,000 per Bitcoin. That's what it costs to mine right now. So, yeah, I want to buy more miners. Feeling very good about that business, and you know, kind of the flywheel that I'm trying to build here. Not dissimilar from what Michael Saylor's doing with MicroStrategy, but you know, we want to build our other businesses. Primarily right now, I'm going to say that's going to be Epic Labor, our staffing business, which we bought some staffing assets a few months ago. I think it was like October 1st or September 30. It's like, hey, we're going to buy these staffing branches. We're going to build that brand out. Epic Labor is the brand. EpicLabor.com is the website. Is currently under development. But I want to build that business, and I want to throw out cash from that business and use that cash to buy more Bitcoin miners. But I also want to use that cash to keep us from having to sell the Bitcoin to pay for the power. Right now, we spend about $26,000 roughly. It changes per month, but roughly about $26,000 a month in power for the Bitcoin miners. So I would love for us to have enough capital coming in to where we don't have to sell any of the Bitcoin to pay for the power. Because I just want to hodl. I just want to hodl. I don't want to sell Bitcoin. And, I mean, there's probably a price point where we'd rather buy it versus mine it. But right now, I'd rather just mine it, okay? So, that's the flywheel that I'm trying to build. We want to have traditional, vanilla, call it boring, whatever you want, businesses that throw off cash, that businesses I understand, and I understand the staffing business more than most people. We want to build that business and use the free cash to stack sats, okay? But then also, the company has an approved share buyback, okay? And I always want to have that option on the table. If we see the opportunity to buy shares, then we have the ability to, financially speaking, we want to do that. So, I want to be good stewards of the capital that we have. So that's where we are right now. So we did buy those 2 offices, Epic Labor, one in Knoxville, one in Nashville, and they're doing okay. This is the slow season, right? Like November, December, January, literally like the 3 slowest months in that business. So the timing was intentional, though. I bought those going into the slow season because they needed to be rebranded and retooled. There's some changes that we want to make to the operations, and you want to do that during the slow periods. So we've got some new pay card providers that we're testing out. Hopefully we'll be rolling that out. So right now we're with Global Cash Card. We'll be going to Cottrell. Hopefully be rolling that out here in the next week. That just makes things smoother, more automated on the payroll side for that business, which is that's a labor-intensive task. Okay, so we want to get away from that and make that as automated as possible. Global's great. We've been with them, or I have another business that's been with them for a long time, so they're great, but they don't have an API that will work with the software that we're using right now for Epic Labor. So Cottrell does, and I'm excited to try them out. And then the insurance, that's the big thing. So work comp right now, so we're using a PEO, professional employer organization. Actually, technically, they're an employer of record, which is an EOR. That's a little different. And I know I'm going real fast here because I have limited time. So I'm sorry for just kind of throwing this out. But we're outsourcing our workers' comp insurance and our general liability. And I want to bring that in-house. To do that, we need to have our own standalone insurance policies. That takes capital, which we have enough for it. So that's not a big deal. But what's important about that is it's going to reduce our cost of our sales, which is wages, all right, taxes and insurance. That's literally like the main components of our cost of sales. So you can't do much about the taxes, although there are some tax credits that we can probably start working on next year called WOTC. Long story, we'll get into that later. But right now, what we can do is we can lower our insurance costs, and I think we can add 4 or 5, maybe even 6% to our gross margins, which would be great. So right now we're running at about 24-25% gross margin, and I think by the time we get to the end of January, my hope is that we'll be pushing 30%, or at least 28%. So again, back to the timing of that acquisition, 100% related to the seasonality. Like, it was intentional doing it at the time that we did. So I'm excited about that. We've got some new offices. I have a lease for Augusta finally. Okay, so we've been kind of going back and forth on that. So we do have the lease that's being negotiated there for Augusta, Georgia. And then I initially had some different markets. The markets that I was looking at, it's a little different now. Like, I'm really thinking like I don't know about Gainesville, Georgia. I live in Gainesville, so it would be nice to have an office like right there. They're on the east side, northeast side of the Atlanta metro area. There's just a lot of construction and development going on there. I really think we have to be over there, so like Lawrenceville maybe. But we are looking at opportunities to open some offices, and I am looking at a few potential forward looking there acquisitions in the staffing space. So a lot going on there. 2025 is gonna be a banger year. At least I don't want to predict stock prices, okay? But in terms of company activity and development, it's gonna be a banger year. I'm excited as hell. I really At this point last year, I was kind of like saying the same things that I'm saying now, because if you recall, we were going into December last year and we said, oh, we're going to do these staffing acquisitions and build this staffing company, but the staffing business just went to shit going into the winter last year, and I put the brakes on. I was like, I can't bring this business in here if it's losing money like that. It's got to be able to be close to break even at least. And the staffing industry as a whole has just been getting crushed for the last 2 years almost. But right now, I feel like we have hit the bottom. So this will be probably the slowest week of the year. And relatively speaking, I mean, it's going to be a big drop, okay? But it's, what we'll drop to this year was like what they were doing all last year. So it's like, that's okay, on a year-over-year comparison. So I feel pretty good about that. Next year's going to be, we're going to be so busy, all right? We're going to build out these staffing offices. And of course, we've got our Boring Brew coffee. You can go to boringbrew.com, try some great coffee. Right now, there's a 10% discount code, WOW, wow. And that's related to World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft had their 20-year anniversary fresh server recently launched about a month ago. I play World of Warcraft and I love it, by the way. And so we just did a 10%. They have an in-game event called the Feast of Winterfell, which is code name for Christmas. They won't say Christmas, obviously. Yeah, so we got 10% discount code, boringbrew.com. You can get 10% off. Discount code WOW. It'll last for like another 9 days. Anyways, we got a lot of exciting stuff for doing that business. I will admit that when we did that acquisition, I had really big hopes for it, and I have failed to just get the traction that I thought would be, frankly, easy. That community, the NFT community as a whole, particularly the Bored Ape community, is just so engaged. I thought buying that brand, when we did the timing and everything, it was just going to be, I didn't think we were going to have a huge time spend. I certainly did not feel like we were going to have a huge ad spend that we would need to have. And we've just struggled to get traction there. But recently, we got awarded some ApeCoin from the ThinkApe DAO. For you folks who are not crypto native, that means we just got some free crypto to give away some bags. Okay. So we did all that, and we actually applied, or we're in the process of applying for an AIP, which is an Ape Improvement Program, fancy name for a proposal. And we're actually going to ask the ApeCoin DAO for a pretty large sum of money to open some physical Boring Brew coffee locations. Okay, so it'd be literal physical Boring Brew coffee shops. So we have 2 markets identified, and so we're actually talking with the council right now on tweaking those proposals to submit them. So I think that will happen in the next few days. We've been working on that for several months. It's not a new thing, we just haven't talked about it much. And so I tell you, that's really like the big updates for right now. Everything else is on go forward, and just kind of what we're looking into, what we're trying to build, we're trying to develop. But I also want to talk just a little bit about how to be a shareholder in Metavesco, things to understand. And part of this is, for me, is going to be a change. So I want to build this in public. Okay, I want to build Metavesco in public. And what does that mean? That means as we're making moves, we're going to tell you about it in real time. I want to do these drive home live streams, 3 or 4 times a week, where I just kind of hey, here's what we did today, here's what we're working on. And look, this is not going to be like, monumental announcements every day. That's just not, real companies don't have monstrous announcements every day. You just don't. You can't, unless you're fabricating them, which I won't do. But it'll be, drips of information every couple of days. Here's some of it won't really matter that much. But look, here's what I'm working on. Now that this forward split's done, and I'm not, being overly cautious with how much content I'm putting out, I'm going to go back to my regularly scheduled program, which is putting it out every couple of days. Here's what we're working on. Now, the next 2 weeks will be kind of slow, obviously, holidays, Christmas and New Year's just back to back there. But, once we're into the new year, it is, no holds barred, okay? I'm going to be going, I'm going to be running hard, and I want to take the Metavesco shareholders with me on that journey, okay? I just want to do something different. Look, I've been in this public game for a while now. I've built some successful businesses. I've cashed out a few times successful businesses and investments, and I've seen some companies do really well by just open communication, and I want to do it different. Let's take it beyond open communication, okay? And let's just have, look, you're a shareholder, you're a co-owner. Why can't we have a daily conference call? Like, hey, look, if you own a business, you'd want regular updates, and it can't be, every 90 days, once a quarter is not enough. It's not enough. Particularly on the OTC, where everything, like 90% of the stuff that's there is just a complete scam. Let's build trust while building this business with the shareholders. Like, I want to build this business with the Metovesco co-owners, okay, with the shareholders. And so that means a lot of information will be put out. Most of it won't be material. If it is material, you will expect a filing of some sort or an actual official press release because of Regulation FD disclosure requirements. Although Twitter post qualifies in most cases under Reg FD, thanks to what's his bucket from Netflix, Reed Hastings. Thanks to him, most of what you post on Twitter qualifies as full disclosure if you have a large followed account, which I do. So, what else? Yeah, I guess that's basically it. Okay, next year, 2025 is gonna be a banger year. I'm so jacked. I'm so excited, and I'm excited that we're gonna be able to do it inside of what, as of yesterday, at least would have been a 000 startup, kind of situation. This is not that currently because, it closed at 1.3. Who knows what. Okay, so the next few days you will see, obviously nothing's trading tomorrow, but I think there's 2 of the major brokerages have updated all their information with the company, including shareholder positions. I do know there's at least 2 brokers, E-Trade being like the big one probably for OTC stocks, where like if you go into E-Trade and you have Metovesco shares, it don't even show the ticker anymore in your position. Now you can still look up MBCO and see the day's action in the price, but your position currently is only showing up as a number, and that number, by the way, is our CUSIP number, which is how they identify stocks beyond the ticker. Okay, ticker's kind of like a secondary thing. How you really track the stock from a ledger perspective is with the CUSIP number. Okay, so if you log into E-Trade and you have shares, you'll see a CUSIP number that in place of where the ticker symbol was. I expect they'll have that updated tomorrow or a Friday. We'll see. So the stock will probably be volatile. I don't really know what's going to happen. Again, this has never been done before. It's not like I can even look at it and say, here's an expectation. I really don't even know. I was very pleased with the reaction today. The volume was okay. The price action was okay. And you won't see me talking a lot about the stock price because I don't think that you'll see me talking about the business we're going to build, and I'm going to let the stock price take care of itself, okay? This is not, I'm not going to come on here and pump the stock. I will pump the shit out of the business, though. I will pump it 24/7, okay? That I will do. And I'll tell you about it. And I'll tell you about our business, and I'll mention our ticker every time, and I'll tell you to check it out. You'll never hear me say, yeah, you should come buy Metovesco. I won't do that because that's, you should be a licensed broker if you're going to do that, and I'm not. But I will tell you, check out this company, okay? We're going to build this thing in public. If you're a shareholder, you're going to come along this journey with me, and we're going to do this together. It's going to be the most amazing thing I've ever done, and this will be my last rodeo. Like, this is it here. This is the one. This is the last one, and I'm going to go ham. I'm not leaving anything on the table. I'm not leaving anything in the basement on this one. We are going all the way, okay? So, if you are sitting with me here on Christmas Eve watching me yap about this, I appreciate you, and I'm glad to have you here. Again, my name is Ryan Shadle, President and CEO of Metovesco, ticker MBCO. Please visit otcmarkets.com for all legal filings, financial filings, risk disclosures, etc. And I'll see you again here in a few days. Merry Christmas, by the way. Happy Hanukkah if you happen to be of Jewish, persuasion. And I'll see you in a few days, guys. Thanks for stopping in.